mistakes have residual value? You're mistaken, aren't you? Of course not. In fact, not only you, but most people view mistakes as a monstrous threat, either avoiding them at all costs or cutting ties with them immediately. This makes sense. Numerous examples show that everyone makes mistakes, and correcting mistakes makes one a good comrade. However, some mistakes are absolutely unacceptable. First, mistakes of principle cannot be made. Second, fatal mistakes with irreversible consequences cannot be made. Since mistakes are so terrible, what residual value do they have? At this point, if we can use reverse thinking, not simply avoiding mistakes, but instead utilizing the experience they bring, the result will definitely be different. In fact, mistakes do have value. A mistake might permanently ruin a person's career, or it might lead to greater success, depending on how one faces their mistakes. If we can learn from our mistakes and turn them into valuable lessons, transforming them into precious assets in our learning, then we can learn more and avoid greater failures by making mistakes than by never making any. Tagore's philosophical poem contains the famous line, "When you shut out all errors, you also shut out truth." This profound and thought-provoking statement reveals that even seemingly annoying mistakes have considerable value. F. Billen, former president of the American Company Copier, said, "If you have no record of failure in a year, you have never dared to try the opportunities you should have seized." A single mistake is not a sin. The real sin is not learning from mistakes. Japanese entrepreneur Mr. Honda also said, "Many people dream of success, but I believe that success is achieved only through repeated failures and reflection. In reality, success only represents 1% of your effort. It is the crystallization of the other 99% that is called failure. Of course, you must never stumble over the same stone twice, or you'd be a fool." In scientific research, mistakes are often the precursors to correct ones. The renowned scientist Qian Shuesan said, "Correct results are derived from a large number of errors. Without a large number of errors as stepping stones, one cannot reach the peak of the final correct result. Each time an error is discovered, we are one step closer to correctness. Many things often require countless trials and errors before correctness finally arrives. For example, developing a new fighter jet or a new tank involves countless errors. The more errors discovered, the closer the product becomes to perfection. Furthermore, errors also contain rational elements. Engels once pointed out, "What is considered truth today has its hidden, later revealed, erroneous aspects. Similarly, what is considered erroneous today also has its correct aspects, and thus it was previously considered rational." Our actions are often driven by strong purpose and utilitarianism. Once the goal differs from our expectations, it is considered an error, causing valuable errors to slip through our fingers. Looking back at the history of science, it's not difficult to find that many inventions originated from accidental mistakes. In ancient Egypt, a kitchen helper accidentally dropped a bowl of mutton fat into charcoal ash. He hurriedly cleaned up the ash. When he finished his work and went to wash his hands, he was surprised to find a white, foamy substance on them. He discovered that his hands, which used to be so greasy and difficult to clean, were now clean and refreshed. After everyone learned of this, they also used a mixture of sheep fat and charcoal ash to wash their hands. This news reached the pharaoh, who then ordered people to make small spheres from the sheep fat and charcoal ash for use by the people in the palace. Later, scientists discovered the secret, and the technology was continuously improved, leading to the creation of convenient and practical soap. A worker at a paper mill made a mistake in the formula when producing a batch of writing paper, resulting in paper that was unusable and causing a large amount of waste. While he was worrying about this, a friend reminded him, "Waste paper is relative to usable paper. Perhaps this batch of paper can be used elsewhere?" He had a flash of inspiration. This batch of paper had exceptional absorbency, and could be used in this way. So he bought the waste paper from the factory at a low price, cut it into small pieces, packaged it, and named it absorbent paper. Unexpectedly, it sold out immediately upon release. Later, he applied for a patent for the production of absorbent paper. Think about it. If the papermaker had only been frustrated at the time, how would he have thought of reusing the mistake? Some mistakes aren't wrong, but rather a bright spot. The key is how you see them. Viewed conventionally, it's a mistake. Viewed differently, it might be an opportunity. If you're good at thinking, you might even discover technology within a mistake, making the mistake shine. The invention of Coca-Cola is also quite dramatic. It's said that a pharmacy clerk mistakenly mixed syrup with soda water, added some ice, and served it to a customer, who raved about it. Thus, a refreshing beverage was born. Because it contained coca leaves and cola nuts, they named it Coca-Cola. There are many stories like this in life. Mistakes can bring losses, but as long as you know how to find something beneficial in them, things can change dramatically. Therefore, we should not generalize about mistakes, nor should we condemn them outright. Because what is wrong at one moment may be right at the next.